Top on the news tonight. Reactions continue to trail 1 year anniversary of NSAS protest. The way forward. Religious body visits NTA Calabar emphasizes need for Nigerians to live in peace, harmony and unity. Plus, importance of cooperation and synergy takes center stage in the fight against transnational crime. Details and more in just a moment. Good evening, it's nice to have you on NTA News at 7. I am Paul Abel now, the news in details. We begin tonight's news with the National Assembly, the Senate to be precise. The National Assembly Conference Committee on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2021 has commenced harmonization of the two versions of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill passed by both chambers of the National Assembly. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
In July this year, both chambers of the National Assembly passed different versions of the Electoral Act 2010 Amendment Bill. Then, October 12, Senate rescinded its decision on some of the clauses, especially on the electronic transmission of election results and mode of primaries for political parties. Before then, both chambers had constituted a conference committee that will harmonize the differences in the versions passed by both chambers. The committee has now commenced work.
We are going to come up in a short while a comprehensive that will address fundamental and germane issue of our electoral process in this country.
Also to respond to the yearnings of Nigerians. Whatever Nigerians want, that can really entrench our democracy and make it work, is what the National Assembly is for.
Less than 500 days to the 2023 general elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission, civil society organizations and the European Union expect the National Assembly to conclude works on the amendment process, which, among other issues, will ensure provision of legal backing for electoral technology, stiffer penalties for offences, and strengthen financial independence of the electoral body.
The issue of technology has dominated recent public discussions in Nigeria. The Commission appreciates the decision of the National Assembly to empower INEC to determine and deploy appropriate technology in future elections.
That so much can happen with collaboration and from listening to citizens, and this committee and this joint committee as well has done so much to do so.
The electronic transmission of results will improve oversight of the results collation process.
The process for amendment of this bill started in the 7th Assembly. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
In a similar development, the Senate Committee on Science and Technology has urged the Nigerian Building and Research Institute to channel its 2022 budget to check in recurring cases of building collapse in Nigeria. This was part of the committee's recommendation when the institute defended its 2020 appropriation bill. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo once again reports.
Management of the Nigerian Building and Research Institute was among the first set of agencies to appear before the Senate Committee on Science and Technology. Director General of the Institute, Professor Samson Duna, presented its 2022 budget of 31.8 billion naira, with research and development to receive 3.1 billion. The Senate Committee wants this reflected in the quality of building and road construction in Nigeria.
What is killing our road is that most of our designs and the load is not based on the design. The design loads are so high that it is not be able to carry the load like a very big truck that is coming up.
Request you to do more research and development that will ensure more affordable, durable housing, eradicate man-made factors of building collapses, such as the one recorded on Monday, 18th October 2021 in Lagos.
To see that we get good quality, very cheap feeder roads so that we can try to move away from these expensive asphalt roads.
The committee advised the institute to shore up its internally generated revenue and develop local alternative to bitumen, as it also scrutinized the 2022 budgets of Shida Science and Technology Complex and that of the National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion.
To ensure that every single kobo that is budgeted is utilized appropriately, judiciously, for the benefit of our nation.
Meanwhile, President of the Senate Ahmed Lawan has laid the foundation for the construction of the National Assembly Service Commission Office Complex at the National Assembly.
At inception in 2010, the construction cost of the project was estimated at 2.5 billion naira. But as of today, the cost of the project is 11.65 billion naira.
The FCT and the FCDA to immediately conclude all the procedures and processes for awarding the contract for the rehabilitation of the National Assembly Complex.
From the National Assembly Abuja, we come back home to Cross River State and Calabar to be precise. We are told that Nigerians are being encouraged to live in harmony and avoid violence for a better nation, bearing in mind that peace is the fulcrum of a progressive society. This was the message of the foremost international missionary of the Brotherhood of the Cross and Star, Archbishop Ipalebo Duke, when he led some members of the organization on a casual visit to the management of Nigerian Television Authority, NTA Calabar. Odwak Etem reports.
Rising from the COVID-19 pandemic, insecurity and other numerous challenges facing Nigeria and the entire world in recent times, the need for the country to seek God's intervention to end this crisis has become imperative. This is the belief of the Brotherhood of the Cross and Star through its foremost international missionary, Archbishop Ipalebo Duke, and other members of the religious organization who were on a custom visit to the management of Nigerian Television Authority, NTA Calabar. The message of peace was focal at the visit, especially as the organization celebrates its 63rd anniversary of the General Fellowship. The Archbishop, however, commended NTA for being at the forefront of promoting national unity and urged Nigerians to embrace peace at all times for nation building.
In brotherhood we stand, so there will be peace in this country. Without peace, there will be no progress. Without peace, no development. It is this peace we want. No question of saying, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian. You should all come together because God is one.
In Nigeria now, what we need is peace, love, and harmony.
For the management of NTA Calabar, peace is the watchword, as no nation can grow in an atmosphere of disunity and violence. The General Manager NTA Calabar, Samuel Olalude, is therefore calling on the religious organization to renew its program, Brotherhood Half Hour, so to reach the world with its message, especially of that of national unity.
It is peace that we need now because of the precarious events that have been happening all over the country. And because of the mandate of NTA, we are for national cohesion and cooperation. And because you have brought peace as a message to Nigerians, we also assist in propagating this peace because it is peace that we need. And when there is peace, there will be love, there will be development.
The Brotherhood of the Cross and Star is a religious organization founded by leader Olumba Obu in Calabar, Cross River State. And today, it has grown into a worldwide movement with branches in different parts of the world. In Calabar, Udwak Etam, NTA News.
In another development, it's 1 year after the 2020 #EndSARS protests, and scars and wounds from its aftermath have continued to remain visible, arising from actions alleged to have been hijacked by hoodlums who caused unprecedented destruction of lives as well as private and public property. Udwak Etim once again reports that after the 1 year, some organizations are still struggling to rebuild, renovate and repair their facilities.
The 2020 EndSARS protest, which dramatically evolved in the middle of the global COVID-19 pandemic, was seen as a threat to the country's stability, even as the protesters alleged to have demanded for an end to police brutality, justice for victims and greater restoration of the nation's democratic mandate. Based on the fact that the movement was hijacked by hoodlums, the Nigerian Television Authority NTA Calabar was one of the worst hit organizations during the incidents, following the high level of destruction done on its facility. How is the station faring a year after the horrible experience?
Make the environment better by tiling all the offices that we are having rugs before. We've been able to buy equipment to put in place to improve our quality of transmission. I want to use this medium to sincerely thank Mr. Governor, Senator Ben Ayade, for his magnanimity and philanthropy in assisting NTA Calabar.
The protest across the nation took a different dimension, and Cross River State was not left out, as the motive behind it was the attack on government facilities and private establishments, which are presently struggling to come alive. There is, however, a call on the federal government to provide employment for the youths.
I think it's high time the government stood up to their responsibility, meet the demands, at least the ones that can be met, and make plans, to ensure that there's good governance in Nigeria.
The government has to address the issue of unemployment and also empower the youth.
Some concerned Nigerians on the EndSARS memorial say, given the right to protest should be exercised but never abused, advising Nigerian youths to always adhere to democratic ideals for a progressive society. In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTA News.
And similarly from Uyo, as few states witnessed the reflection of last year's EndSARS protest in Nigeria. And some Nigerians in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State capital, say the only way to immortalize the peaceful EndSARS protest, which was hijacked by hoodlums, is for government to implement recommendations of the various panels of inquiry set up to investigate the scrapped EndSARS. The respondents were reacting in response to the anniversary of the EndSARS protest of October 20th. Clement Barikwi reports.
This is the popular Ibom Plaza in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Every activity about the EndSARS protest last year emanated from here. But as at Wednesday, the situation here remained peaceful, with residents going about their normal businesses.
The anniversary was majorly observed online. We didn't really see people gather to mark the anniversary of that event.
As some states of the Federation witnessed pockets of activities to mark the one-year anniversary, some Nigerians in Uyo say such was not necessary.
It's a good thing, but to me, it's not necessary. When things are done the right way, allow it to go with time.
Let me also give it to the federal government, because they acted promptly. The 5 demands that the EndSARS protesters demanded, they met it 5/5.
What the people expect is justice, fairness, equity. Who are those that will be punished?
As Nigerians Uyo await the outcome of the judicial panel of inquiry into police brutality, they are, however, praying against a repeat of such unwarranted attacks on Nigerians and public facilities by hoodlums who hijacked the protest. In Uyo, Clement Barikwi, NTA News.
Don't forget you're still watching NTA News Live, reaching you from our studios here in Calabar. You can equally watch this newscast online on our YouTube channel, YouTube/NTA Calabar. We have more stories for you immediately after the break. Please stay with us. It's good to welcome you to the second segment of the news tonight. And we begin with stories on human trafficking. Cooperation among countries is a necessary ingredient in combating all forms of transnational crime, as it is impossible for any single organization to respond comprehensively to the menace. This came up at a coordination meeting between NAPTIP and Embassy Liaison and other development partners. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday reports.
Empirical evidence has shown that trafficking in persons has become the third largest criminal enterprise globally and second among transnational organized crimes, despite sustained efforts by world governments and international community. To further commit and re-strategize, NAPTIP, which is the coordinating agency of the Nigerian government for all intelligence and response, is meeting these embassy liaison and development partners.
We can do better.
For the Director General, 482 convictions since the establishment of NAPTIP is not acceptable.
Enhance investigation, prosecution, and conviction of high-profile traffickers, because I believe that when we have more convictions and less impunity, that is what sends a message of zero tolerance.
The Honourable Minister Haji Saidia Umar Farouk supports this agency to be last, to see that human trafficking has been reduced to the barest minimum.
The forum agreed to double their efforts, knowing that they will only win if they join forces.
Also work, of course, with the NIS on border management. Also linked to preventing the flow of traffickers and trafficked persons out of the country or into the country. It only works if we all work together. Otherwise, we fail.
The forum is an initiative of NAPTIP to strengthen cooperation, collaboration, communication, and partnership with international communities. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
And now to agriculture as part of moves to revitalize the economy through the agriculture sector. 40 extension agents in Cross River State are being exposed to best global practices and tools for efficient delivery of agricultural extension services. The training workshop for the second batch of trainees is organized by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture in collaboration with the National Agricultural Extension and Research Liaison Services. Justina Etem reports.
Low skills and lack of interest on the part of the youths in agriculture could hinder productivity in the sector, and so in a training like this, agriculture extension agents are being equipped with knowledge on innovations for further transmission to rural farmers, to not only boost food productivity, but to also improve the livelihood of the rural farmers.
When we carry the knowledge gained here at this end of this workshop to where we are, the cells, where the farmers are, it will help to improve their productivity.
The technologies that are coming in now, we go there, we educate them so that they can adapt to the technology.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture says the training is one of several strategies aimed at halting the drift in the agricultural extension system to enhance the revitalization agenda of the federal government.
Agricultural extension delivery is the driver of all agricultural policies and research, without which all efforts in the agricultural ecosystem may not realize its intended goals.
This training is designed to empower participants with skills in the use of extension delivery methodologies and tools, as well as the best global practices in the agricultural value chains.
For the Cross River State government, this training will only boost the rice, cocoa and poultry value chains, which the state is interested in.
With a further training of these extension workers, we believe strongly that the targeted audience would definitely benefit from it, and it will lead to the empowerment of the rural farmers and the improvement in the GDP of the state.
It is expected that at the end of this training, participants will bring their expertise to bear in food production. In Calabar, Justina Etem, NTA News.
Still on the Africa Women's Cup of Nations, in other results played across the African continent, Kenya walloped South Sudan 8-0. Uganda overcame Ethiopia by 2-0. Malawi and Zambia shared the spoils in a 1-1 draw, while Tanzania lost at home to Namibia 1-2. Mozambique were defeated heavily at home by South Africa 7-0, and Zimbabwe overcame Eswatini by 2-1. The game between Central African Republic and Cameroon ended 1-0 in favor of the Cameroon, who played away. And from the Super Falcons and the African Women's Cup of Nations to the latest FIFA ranking right now. In the latest FIFA ranking released this month, Nigeria managed to hold the 35th position in the world after the series of World Cup qualifiers played a few weeks ago. Nigeria's Super Eagles surprisingly lost at home to lowly rated Central African Republic, but redeemed themselves by beating the Central African Republic team in the return leg in Cameroon by 2-1. Nigeria is now placed 5th in Africa, while Senegal, Tunisia, Morocco and Algeria occupy the first 4 positions, while Egypt occupies the 6th position. The first 5 ranked teams are likely to be seeded in the final World Cup qualifiers. Brings us to the end of tonight's news. Don't forget, we still have some few minutes to take our closing highlights. Nigerians have continued to react 1 year after hoodlums hijacked the EndSARS protest. As a reporter who went round town reported that many public and private organizations are still struggling to rebuild their destroyed property and facilities. The Brotherhood of the Cross EndSARS has encouraged Nigerians to live in harmony to promote unity for progress of the nation. This was at a coastal visit to the management of NTA Calabar. NAPTIP and Embassy Liaison and other development partners have promised to partner and work together towards combating trafficking in persons as well as other transnational crimes. That does it for the news tonight. On behalf of the entire crew, I am Paul Abel. Have a wonderful night rest.